Urban flooding is getting worse and more unpredictable than ever. But did you know that city floods are not just caused by rain? Today, Green Earth VN will reveal 5 hidden factors that make urban flooding more severe and complex than ever before. We see the images on the news all the time. City streets transformed into murky rivers, cars floating like abandoned toys, and people looking on with a mixture of shock and resignation. It's a scene that's becoming alarmingly common across the globe, from major metropolises to smaller towns. We often blame a heavy downpour, a passing storm, but the reality is far more intricate. The water that paralyzes our cities isn't just falling from the sky. It's being trapped, redirected, and intensified by the very way we've built our urban world. The true causes are often invisible, buried beneath layers of concrete, hidden in outdated infrastructure, and driven by global changes that connect us all. So, what are these hidden culprits? Stay with us as we uncover the 5 critical factors that are turning rainy days into urban disasters, and what we can do to reclaim our cities from the rising waters. First, let's talk about rapid urbanization, or how we've systematically replaced nature with concrete. Picture this. 100 years ago, the land where a bustling city now stands was likely a mosaic of forests, fields, and wetlands. When it rained, this natural landscape acted like a giant sponge. The soil, rich with organic matter and riddled with the roots of plants and trees, would readily absorb the rainwater. Water would seep deep into the ground, replenishing underground aquifers, or slowly make its way into streams and rivers. But look at our cities today. We see towering skyscrapers that reach for the clouds, sprawling residential complexes, and a vast network of streets and parking lots covered in asphalt and concrete. These surfaces are almost completely they don't absorb water, they repel Italiano. This concrete jungle we've built has a devastating consequence. When a heavy rainstorm hits, the water has nowhere to go. Instead of being absorbed into the earth, it immediately becomes surface runoff, sheeting across roads and sidewalks, the natural spongesta parks, the green spaces, the ponds, and the wetlands have been drastically reduced or eliminated altogether to make way for development. In many modern cities, green spaces make up a tiny fraction of the total land area. This imbalance creates a perfect recipe for flash floods. We see this happening in cities like Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi, where some districts can become inundated within just 15 to 30 minutes of a heavy downpour. The water rises with terrifying speed because the urban environment is designed to shed water, not manage it. Our relentless pursuit of vertical and horizontal expansion has come at a cost. As the message goes, we build higher, but forget to make room for water. This fundamental conflict between our built environment and the natural water cycle is the primary reason why even a moderate rainstorm can now cause significant flooding. We've effectively waterproofed our cities, and in doing so, we've made them incredibly vulnerable. The second hidden factor lies beneath our feet, in our aging and overloaded drainage systems. Most major cities have a network of pipes and sewers designed to carry away stormwater. However, many of these systems are relics of a bygone era. They were built decades, sometimes even a century ago, designed for a smaller population and a climate that was far more predictable. They simply were engineered to handle the sheer volume and intensity of rainfall that we are experiencing today. Think of it like trying to drain a swimming pool with a garden hose. It's an impossible task. The pipes are too small, the capacity is insufficient, and the system is quickly overwhelmed. The problem is compounded by a more visible, yet often ignored, issue: blockages. Our drains and sewers are frequently choked with trash, sediment, and debris. Plastic bottles, shopping bags, discarded food containers, leaves, and construction waste all find their way into the drainage network. This garbage acts like a dam, clogging the pipes and preventing water from flowing through. The result is predictable. Water backs up and overflows onto the streets, turning intersections into lakes and flooding homes and businesses. It's a shocking but true quick fact. Even a single plastic bottle, wedged in the right place, can block a drain and be responsible for flooding an entire street. The consequences of this failure are not just inconvenient. They are hazardous. Flood water that mixes with sewage from overflowing systems becomes a toxic soup, contaminating everything it touches. It seeps into homes, pollutes public areas, and poses a serious risk to public health, spreading waterborne diseases. This underground failure is a silent amplifier of every storm, turning a manageable event into a widespread crisis. The third major driver is a global force with local impacts: climate change and the resulting extreme weather. It's no longer a distant threat. It's a present reality that is reshaping our weather patterns. Scientists have been warning for years that a warmer planet leads to more extreme weather, and we are now seeing the evidence firsthand. Rainfall is becoming more concentrated and intense. Instead of a steady, gentle rain spread over several hours, we are increasingly experiencing torrential downpours, where a massive amount of water is unleashed in a very short period. Storms are becoming stronger, more frequent, and less predictable. The meteorological benchmarks of the past are being shattered. A rain event that would have been considered a once-in-a-century storm is now happening every few years. To put it in perspective, for many cities, 100 millimeters of rain in 24 hours used to be considered a very heavy rainfall event. Now, it's not uncommon to see 200, 300, or even more millimeters of rain falling in just a few hours. Our infrastructure was never designed to cope with this new normal. For coastal cities, the threat is twofold. Climate change is also causing sea levels to rise. When a powerful storm coincides with a high tide, it creates a devastating phenomenon known as a storm surge. Water comes at the city from two directions: from the sky in the form of torrential rain, and from the sea as a wall of ocean water pushed inland by the storm. The rainwater trying to drain out into the ocean is blocked by the incoming surge, effectively trapping the water within the city. This double whammy leads to catastrophic flooding that is deeper, more widespread, and lasts much longer. Climate change is loading the dice, making extreme flood events a matter of when, not if. Our fourth factor is a slow, silent, and largely invisible process happening right under our cities: land subsidence, exacerbated by rising sea levels. Many of the world's largest cities are literally sinking. Desinking, or land subsidence, is primarily caused by the excessive extraction of groundwater. As cities grow, their demand for water skyrockets. To meet this demand, massive amounts of water are pumped from underground aquifers. As the water is removed, the layers of clay and silt in the soil begin to compact under the immense weight of the city above them. The land gradually, but irreversibly, subsides. This is not a trivial amount. Major coastal cities like Jakarta, Bangkok, and Ho Chi Minh City are sinking at alarming rates, some by as much as 2 to 15 centimeters per year in certain areas. As these cities sink, they become more vulnerable to flooding. Low-lying areas that were once safe are now at or even below sea level. This means that flooding can occur even without a single drop of rain. During high tides, seawater can creep into the city through rivers and drainage canals, inundating streets and homes. This phenomenon is known as tidal flooding, and it's becoming a daily reality for millions of people. When you combine land subsidence with the global issue of sea level rise caused by melting glaciers and thermal expansion of ocean water, you have a crisis in the making. The city is sinking, and the sea is rising to meet it. This creates a permanent and escalating flood risk. The dire warning from scientists is clear: without drastic and immediate action to halt groundwater extraction and mitigate climate change, many parts of these sinking cities could be permanently underwater within our lifetimes. Finally, the fifth factor is our own poor planning. Building on floodplains and along riverbanks. Throughout history, human settlements have naturally developed along rivers and coastlines, drawn by access to water for transport, agriculture, and daily life. However, in our modern rush for development, we have forgotten a fundamental rule of nature. Rivers and floodplains need space. Floodplains are the low-lying areas adjacent to rivers that naturally flood during periods of high water. They act as a safety valve for the river system, allowing excess water to spread out and slow down, reducing the flood peak downstream. But we have increasingly encroached upon these vital areas. We have filled in wetlands, paved over floodplains, and built houses, factories, and infrastructure right on the river's edge. This development acts like a straitjacket on the river. We build levees and concrete walls to try and contain the water. But in doing so, we block the natural channels and pathways that water used to follow. When heavy rain comes and the river swells, it has nowhere to go. The water can't spread out into the floodplain as it naturally would, so its level rises higher and its flow becomes faster and more destructive. The flood becomes deeper and lasts longer, and the very structures we built to protect ourselves are overwhelmed. We have essentially stolen land from the water, and during a flood, the water is simply trying to take it back. This misguided development turns a natural process into a man-made putting lives and property in a high-risk zone that should never have been developed in the first place. The poignant quote sums it up perfectly. When we take land from water, water will take it back. Urban flooding is not purely natural. It is a result of human activity combined with extreme weather. The 5 factors we've discussed: rapid urbanization, failing infrastructure, climate change, land subsidence, and building on floodplains all weave together to create the perfect storm. But understanding the problem is the first step toward finding a solution. The good news is that we have the knowledge and the technology to make our cities more resilient. We can integrate solutions like increasing green spaces in urban parks to act as natural sponges. We can build permeable roads and advanced drainage systems that absorb and manage water instead of just repelling it. We must protect and restore our rivers, lakes, and wetlands, giving water the space it needs. It's critical to limit groundwater extraction, to halt subsidence, and plan our cities in harmony with nature, not in conflict with it. Share this video to raise awareness about the true causes of urban flooding. This is a conversation we all need to have. If we don't act now, water will inevitably reshape our cities and fundamentally change our lives. Now, we want to hear from you. And here's a question for you. Are there any other reasons that make cities flood? Drop a comment below and let everyone know your thoughts. And if you found this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe to Green Earth VN to join us in our mission to protect our planet and our communities.